Hi, Carolyn. First, Here's What Happened in Carolyn Talks podcast. So this question is for Jill, Mouzam, DeMane, and Kaci. So the interesting thing about for me for this show is how Naomi is going to be discovering not only who she is, possibly as someone from another planet, but who she is with regards to her relationship to her parents and her friends. So it's a lot about how discovering your identity in different ways and different concepts. So can you guys all go into like how Naomi is going to find out who she is with relation to the people, especially the women in her life, because I can see how this is going to affect the relationship with her parents, particularly her mother and also her friends. So just go into that a bit for me, please. Thank you.
I can start. Yeah, I think along the lines of exactly what Jill and DeMane said, asking questions. It's also the show also forces you to even think about who have you trusted all along and who can you begin to trust and not trust. And it's a lot about, I think the show forces Naomi to start stepping back from her comfort zone and rethinking about all of her relationships, what her parents said, what her friends said, and really forces her to make her decisions as her own person, which I think is what every young person is trying to figure out, especially in this world with so much misinformation and everything. I think it's an opportunity where if your parents say one thing, if your friends say one thing, you have to step back and be like, wait, I know they've always had my best interest in heart, but do they always? So I think the show forces you to just think about, along the lines what Jill and DeMane said, always think about where are they coming from, what biases did they grow up with, and how do I want to conduct myself in this world? And that's what the show really shows. I think everybody has different interests at heart, and a lot of us have Naomi's interest at heart, but Naomi has to always take that time and space to step back and think, but what do I want to do? What do I need to do to grow as a person? So I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
I completely agree with what Mouzam said. That was so beautifully put. I think being a teenager, and I started the show when I was 16, and Naomi is 16. So there's a lot I actually pulled for myself. It's crucial about asking that question, like, who am I? Like, I'm always discovering, especially crucially as a teenager, who I am, which I think is something that is very prevalent in the show. Naomi's realizing her hidden destiny, but she's also realizing who she wants to be surrounded with, who she wants about her friend group, and her relationship with her parents, especially. It's not an angsty relationship. She gets along with them extremely well, and they have a really special bond, and she was adopted when she was a baby. So she's been with them for so long, and they love her and they dote on her and she loves them. The story of Naomi is she's someone who loves and is loved.
I don't think I can top either of those, but I'll add to them. Yeah, I mean, I think creatively exactly what sort of Mouzam and Kaci said, and sort of from our perspective too, we've always thought about the show, Ava and I, as a coming of age story, right? That's told sort of within the superhero world, so in that regard, we're dealing with, these two sort of equally important parts of Naomi's life, right? Her teenage life and sort of her relationships with her parents and relationships with her friends, and sort of figuring out who she's going to become, while also sort of getting involved in this sort of like epic cosmic struggle. So the kind of push and pull between these two sides of her life and how Naomi balances that, really we think of sort of about, again, sort of within the umbrella of that coming of age story and what that looks like for every young woman who's growing up.
So my question is for the cast. So the thing about superhero stories is if you have a hero, you have a villain. And with regards, and especially with a character like Naomi, who is related in a sense to Superman, like we know that with Superman, he has like enemies both from Earth and from without. And I want to know about how you guys are approaching her own story as a hero, because she is going to eventually have to face an antagonist, like, and I'm thinking some of that might come within her own friend group, because there's so many different personalities. Everyone is going to have their own agendas once they start discovering who she is and what she's capable of. And I can see particularly with Zumbada and Dee, like how they're gonna have to like protect her as well as give her the space to become the hero she's destined to be. So can you just talk about the development of Naomi the hero, as well as how that's going to affect her, the interpersonal relationships she's going to have with the people around her?
Okay, so I would say Naomi, the show is not very villain of the week-esque. like some superhero shows that are so great, but it's a little bit different than that. I think that we see throughout the show Naomi's balance of her life as a teenager versus her balance as a superhero, and who is finding out what. So I think that although there are villains, I think she has great teachers who teach her how to deal with that. And she also has to learn for herself. She can't be told everything. She especially has to learn for herself, which is crucial in the show.
I can say along those lines, I think, Jennifer as the mom, there very much is a mama bear aspect that comes into when Naomi has to deal with all these forces that come at her. And I think Jennifer is always, in her ideal world, Naomi probably would have never discovered that she has powers, and she's, tucked away safely in her room upstairs, So, but as I've said before, each character has truths that's revealed to them, and Jennifer, I think, is very cautious about Naomi. So I think there's something about, no matter what Dean Zimbardo has, is doing for Naomi, there's an aspect of Jennifer that's like, but wait, is she ready? But are you sure she's ready? So I think that's what Jennifer is also trying to figure out, what is Naomi capable of and what is she actually ready for? So that's what Jennifer is dealing with and how she kind of approaches all this stuff.
Great, thank you so much, and congratulations on the show and all of your amazing work. Thank you.